Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Alfian Sal Ramadan. My student ID is 21240901117. Today I would like to presenting to you about a virtual life, how social media change our attitudes. First, the unreal world. Dr. Ali Jazairi, Associate Professor of Clinical Psychology at the Chicago School of Professional Psychology's Los Angeles campus, believe there are clear and present dangers that must be addressed. I definitely believe that social media has had a significant impact on our life. The world we see on Facebook and other social media platforms is not the real world, it's a human creation, Jazayeri explained. Among the other dangers that Facebook may pose in our lives, such as a lack of privacy, is the habit of constantly comparing ourselves to others. When people are happy, they tend to post a lot of happy things. When I'm unhappy, however, I will consequently or unconsequently compare myself to others. As a result, I create a world that isn't real because I imagine that everyone in that world is happy except for me. From psychologist's standpoint, what worries Jazayeri the most is the risk of slipping too far into a virtual world and losing touch with a real life, real self, and real priorities. A 2011 clinical report on the impact of social media on children, adults, adolescents, and families, published in Pediatrics, the official journal of the American Academy of Pediatrics, was one of the first to raise the issue of Facebook depression among young people, worried that they weren't accumulating enough friends or like to their status update. Jazeri worries that an over-reliance on this virtual world that we create online is undermining all the progress human beings have made in addressing real-life problems. Consciousness collected. Dr. Elazar Sebio, an assistant professor in Department of School Psychology at TCSPP's Chicago campus, has been fascinated with the concept of virtual worlds and social media since the early chat room of the 1990s. Something I like to talk about a lot of psychotherapy are the various dimensions of consequences. He say it can get really psychological it if you're going to look at what kind of behavior people are putting out there. I have been studying Jungian analysis and I do find it interesting, especially when you look at personality types. As any Facebook user is aware, there are types among almost everyone's friends. I don't want to psychopathologize everybody who online, but I think it's possible to take a quasi-diagnostic look at it when you examine what people write, how they interact online. Of all the social media sites, Facebook is a place where he say almost every personality types can be found and analyzed. This is the best modern example I've come across of the I've been calling the collective unconscious personified. How do we choose to present ourselves to this world? In addition, at what point do we stop? The professional fiber. John Fowler received an MA in psychology at TCSPP's Chicago campus in 2009 and for several years made his business teaching other professionals how to use social media to advance their career. 3 years have passed since the published his book, Graduate to LinkedIn jumpstart your career support network now. And he said the social media of today is already vastly different. Professionally, you say that you want to brand yourself, but you can sometimes get so lost in branding yourself the way you want to perceive that what you present online isn't who you really are. When potential employer meet you in person, they want you to be consistent. Caution Fowler, who now works at Deloitte Consulting and sometimes uses his social media background to help clients leverage their brands. Love in the time of social media. In all of the incarnations and manifestations of social media in our life, one aspect that can be ignored, particularly when it comes to how we present ourselves and perceive others, is how the always on must be perfect. Virtual has changed our most intimate relationships, whether you're a single 20-something, look for a Mr. or Mrs. Right, or a newly divorced parent dipping your toes back into the dating scenes. Online sites such as Match.com, OkCupid.com, and eHarmony.com have revolutionized the idea of how we meet and connect with new people. The fairy tale ending are legendary, as are the tales of love, loss, and heartbreak. To disconnect or disconnected, or not disconnect. That disconnect, that beacon or refers to is at the very heart of what Turkle is chronicling in Together Alone. As we instant message, email, text, and Twitter technology redraws the boundaries between intimacy and solitude. The right we talk of getting rid of our emails as though there's not are so much exacerbate. Teenagers avoid making telephone calls, fearful that they reveal too much. They would rather text than talk. Adults to choose keyboard over the human voice. The irony of it all is that we can see in it happening to our kids, our friend, even ourselves. We know it's problem, but we don't know how to stop it. Okay, and the last is translate the highlight paragraph in Bahasa Indonesia and give your short opinion in English. Okay, this is the paragraph and this is after the translated. Okay, I read it. Saya tentu tidak ingin membuang manfaat dari semua konektivitas ini, tetapi harus ada batasannya. Lanjutnya, saya berharap orang-orang mulai menyadari bahwa Facebook dan sosial media tidak bisa menjadi pengganti segala sesuatu dalam hidup mereka. Daripada duduk dan membaca postingan orang lain di Facebook selama 2 jam, saya bisa melakukan beberapa pekerjaan komunitas. Mungkin saya perlu bertanya pada diri sendiri, mengapa saya harus selalu sibuk dengan seseorang yang tidak nyata? Alright, from this paragraph, I have a short opinion. My opinion, okay, I will read it to you. My opinion about paragraph above. As we know, we live in the modern era that social media, or we can say unreal world, virtual world, and a similar of that are exist, but we can judge it like we should to avoid that. I know it can be worse if you do it in a wrong way, cause if you fall too deep in unreal world, it can be bad for your mental health and maybe it can turn you become a criminal. But from the unreal world, it can make an opportunity too, like e-commerce influencer and maybe a job too. Alright. Thank you for your attention. I'm sorry if I have a wrong word or a bad word. I'm still learning.